flesh of the buttocks from the center of each buttock out and back, so that you are sitting more on the sit bones. And as you do these adjustments, just be present. So use this time to become present, to come into your body, by feeling what happens when you make each adjustment. Taking the fingertips by the sides, not pressing down yet, but just taking the chin in slightly, lifting up through the crown of the head to the ceiling. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to become grounded with each next breath out. Just feeling the downward force of gravity pulling you down from the inside. Softening the groins, feel the contact between the base of the body and the floor. And just using the necessary muscles that you need to keep upright, but at the same time letting go as much as you can. And then as you slowly begin to press the tips of the fingers down, you also begin to feel the upward force from the ground up. So there's a kind of a sucking up action in the palms of the hands, reflected in the armpits and in the ribs. So that the downward and the upward forces now balance each other. From there, keep your chest open as you take your hands in front of you. Root of your thumbs against the chest, fingers slightly away from the chest wall, feeling the light touch between the hands. Closing the eyes from top to bottom, looking away from the thinking brain, down towards the heart. Internally, taking few breaths through the heart center in the middle of the chest. And then after the next breath in, we'll do the 3 Oms together in your own time. Feel the vibration of the sound in the body. As you exhale, bow the head down, surrendering the brain to the heart once more. And release the hands to your thighs and listen to the resonance of silence. And as you breathe in, lift the head up and open the eyes. And stretch the legs forward. And cross the legs the other way. Have whatever you need for your head in front of you. We're just going to start by coming forward, so you can sit down lower if you can. If your knees are headed down, otherwise keep sitting on your height. And as you breathe in, stretch the arms forward and up to the ceiling. Extend and lengthen the sides of the body up, all the way through the tips of the fingers. Be as tall as you can be. And then from there, keep reaching up as you come forward halfway, lengthening through the tips of the fingers, reaching forward. Then from there, take your fingers down, pulling towards you. As you pull towards you, feel that lengthening through the front body. And then from there, take your hands forward more and the head down. So with the breath out, allow yourself to soften in the hips, the outer hips, letting go of the tension there. With the breath in, feel the lengthening, that there's still you're creating spaciousness in the spine. Chest is opening gently. So feeling this inner dynamic with your breath. And then as we inhale, coming back to center. And stretch the legs forward. And cross the legs the other way one more time. And stretch the arms forward, have the palms facing down. As you inhale, stretch the arms up to the ceiling. Lengthening again the sides of the body up. This time, the stretch feels a little different, if you can be sensitive to that. There's a more lift in the front body, so the whole waist is lifting. The back of the abdominal wall is lifting. And then from there, reaching forward, so again, go halfway, keep the arms at your ears, go halfway, lengthen through the tips of the fingers, be heavy in your sitting bones. And then from there, take your hands down, pulling the fingers towards you to lengthen through the front body. And then from there again, take your hands forward and the head down. So stay, breathe, noticing how with the head support, there is a sense of letting go of the thinking brain. The thinking brain kind of starts to go into the background a bit. Something else takes over. Softening the hips, the buttocks. With the breath in, feel how the breath is lengthening you from the inside. There is a space that's created by the breath. So feeling that inner dynamic of movement with breath. All right, and then as you inhale, you can come back to center. And stretch the legs forward. And get yourself your 2 breaks. We're going to do Vrksasana with the 2 breaks. So sitting in Vrksasana with the knees together, feet out by the sides of the break, with the toes pointing straight back, and then moving the flesh of each calf, digging the fingers right behind the knee, pulling the flesh towards the heels as you sit. And sitting upright first, and noticing how the weight is on the side. Right and left side. You feel the same weight. From there, keeping the buttocks down as you start to come forward. Yeah. So buttocks down, lengthening through the tips of the fingers, taking the head down to whatever height that you need. But as the buttocks want to lift, you want to bring them back down. So there is contact between the sit bones and your breath. And again, be with that inner dynamic of breath. Letting go as you breathe out. So softening the buttocks down with the breath in. There's still this slight lengthening through the spine. Okay, and you feel that. Be with it. Be present. Little by little, reaching forward with the breath in and letting go more through the buttocks as you breathe out. All right, and then from there, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Tuck your toes under, and you can just spread the fingers apart. Yeah. And when you look at your fingers, you want the wrist creases to be parallel to one another. And so tucking the toes under, take your buttocks back. And then slowly from there, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So in your first one, just feeling how you are as the body is slowly warming up and really pressing. So feel how the weight is on the hands. And really pressing the inner hands down, the mounts of the index fingers, lengthening from the inner hands through the inner wrists, the inner elbows, inner shoulders, all the way up to the inner groin. And then once you get that lift in the spine, then can you recharge the legs with energy a little more so that kneecaps are sucked in and pulled up, and then the thighs are pushing back, opening the backs of the legs, the backs of the knees. Can you start to feel all these connections? Breathing through it. And from there, you can walk your feet forward, coming into Uttanasana. And then coming up. And just stand in Tadasana for a moment as you breathe in, stretching the arms forward, interlocking the fingers, arms away. As you inhale, stretching the arms all the way up. Be as tall as you can be. So you can't see my arms, but just simply interlocking the fingers, stretching the arms up in Tadasana. When you do that, see that the weight stays in your heels. You're not allowing the weight to come forward on your toes. Yeah, but more weight in your heels. Straight, strong legs, so creating groundedness through your feet, at the same time lifting. Thighs back, deep. And as you breathe out, then you can release. And to see how you are, feel the resonance. And then the other way. So again, as you inhale, stretch the arms forward, interlocking the fingers the other way. Arms away. As you inhale, stretch the arms up. And again, so reaching up, be as tall as you can. Now, when you stretch the arms up, you don't do a banana. Yeah, the thighs have to stay back. Yeah, so where is the awareness? Can you still feel how the weight is in your feet? Has it changed? It shouldn't. Be like a tree. Huh? Be sturdy like a tree. And as you exhale, then you can release the arms. Take your arms back down and have a look. So we are going to come back now into Vrksasana. Just have a look though first. And then from here, you're going to turn the left foot on its outer edge with the right foot on top, and you're going to come down. And we're going to do Vishnu. It's the Vishnu couch or anantasana. First you reach through the bottom arm, then you bend the elbow, you support the head. Yeah. But trying to keep the elbow, it will want to come forward, don't let that happen. Yeah. So just this much first. Yeah, so it's balancing, and it's deceptively, as you know, not so easy, right? Then we come back into dog pose, we do the other side. And then the second time, we try and hold the big toe, or you have a belt around your foot, and then stretching the leg up. Okay? And then remember, so mean between the sides, you go into dog pose. Okay? I'll talk you through it. Have your belt handy. And first come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, into dog pose. So press the heels against the wall, have your feet hip-width apart. As you press the heels, that encourages the legs to work strongly, so pulling up the knees, lifting the buttocks high. Take a few breaths there. And then from there, you're going to turn your left foot on its outer edge. And then the right foot on top of the left foot. And then lower yourself down slowly. As you lower yourself down, you want to lengthen the left side of the body. From your outer edges of the feet, all the way as you lie down on the floor in a straight line. So with the front edge of the mat, you should see is your body in a straight line. Yeah. And then reach through your left arm, so the bottom arm, reaching. So you're trying to elongate the left side of the body as much as possible. Keep your legs strong. And then bend the elbow, but don't distort the elbow. Just bend the elbow. Don't let it move forward as you support the head. So the head, the occipital bone kind of rests in the palm of the hand. So it just fits there quite nicely. Backwards or forwards. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. And what has to stabilize you is the outer, so it's the left outer hip. So there is a muscle called gluteus medius, and that has to work. That has to work there now. Yeah, not as easy as it looks. All right, then from there you can come on your front and come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Release, come on the front. Dog pose, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Press the heels against the wall, feet hip width apart, lift the buttocks high, make your legs firm, pull up the knees, pull the thighs back. Breathe. All right, and then take your right foot on its outer edge, with the left foot on top. Come on the side, and then while you elongating the bottom side, so which one is the right side of the body, is elongating as you lie down in a straight line, extending, lengthening through the right arm now. First, and just check. So usually what happens is either the buttocks go back or the feet go forward, so see that you are in a straight line. And then can you test your balance by taking your left arm on your hip, just alongside it. Oh, first bend your bottom elbow and support your head, of course. And then the top hand on the hip. Yeah, so can you find where that stability has to be? Can you find that bottom outer hip working? Then from there you can release, you can come on the front, bend your knees, coming back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Press the heels against the wall, the center of each heel. Feet are hip width apart. Pull up the knees, buttocks up and back, breathing. Okay, and then one more time. So turning your left foot on its outer edge with the right foot on top. Lengthening the bottom side of the body as you go down again, slowly. Yeah. So all the way, all the way, all the way. Extending through your left arm, lengthen through your left arm. And then bend the elbow, support your head. But don't let the elbow come forward, keep it in line. Now this time, so we'll do the anantasana number 2. You're going to bend your right leg, catching hold of either the big toe from the inside of the knee or the belt. If that's too much for your hamstrings, then the belt. And as you exhale, straighten the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And what will want to happen is for the top buttock to collapse backwards, but you want to bring it forward. So you want to have the hips over each other. Because that really is strengthening the gluteus medius that I'm talking about. So that's very important muscle for your balance, yeah, in other poses as well. So if you're not feeling that in the bottom outer hip, then you're not aligned properly. Yeah? So I can't be there to see you exactly, but the top buttock Imagine that I'm pushing the top buttock forward. All right, and then you can release, bend your knee. Take your foot down, come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. On the front. And be with how it feels. So now having done one side. Yeah. The other side feel. How do the hips feel? All right, and then you're going to turn your right foot on its outer edge with the left foot on top. Elongating the right side of the body as you go down all the way. Lengthening through your right arm. Keeping the elbow as far back as you can get it so that you keep it in line with the rest of the body. And then bend the elbow and support the head. And then bend the top knee. I hold the big toe from the inside of the knee. And as you exhale, straighten the legs straight up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, so do it slowly and see that the top buttock is squeezing into the body. So it's not going backwards, because that's cheating, right? And if you can't reach, then have a belt. Okay. Sorry, Tori, I don't know where your belt is, can't see it. Straight leg, trying to straighten the leg as much as you can. Yeah, thigh moves away, yeah, looks good, Steph. Just take your top buttock forward as much as you can. And then kind of unzip in the inner leg from the groin towards the inner heel. Yeah, so the leg goes up more, Lisha. The buttocks, yeah, I know. I know it's tricky. So are you feeling the bottom out the hip? That's what I want you to feel. And as you exhale, then you can bend your knee and come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Lifting the buttocks high, the eyes back. Feeling now how you are having done both sides. Hello, doggy. They're going to show us how you do your dog head down. And as we exhale, come down. And you're going to come up into standing. And we are going to do tree pose. Now, yeah, it's the first time we're going to have the knee against the wall. As you know, we've done this many times before. So let's start with the right leg close to the wall first. You're going to, just let me quickly just show you. So you're lifting your right leg up, holding the ankle, knee out, but not too far back. Hips need to be level. Pressing the knee against the wall, turning the abdomen away from the wall. And then stretching the arms forward and up. Yeah, so this really activates that right buttock. Okay, so, and if your hips are on the stiff side, have the knee forward more. Don't be too close too far away from the wall. Yeah, so begin to lift your right leg up, hold the ankle, and with the same hand, same side. Yeah, so with your right hand, hold the right ankle, let the knee go out towards the wall. Press the heel against the inner thigh, but also the thigh against the foot, against the heel. As you push the knee against the wall, what happens? Yeah, there's that action emphasized around the upper leg. Yeah, from the inner groin, you lengthen towards the inner knee, then from the outer knee back into the hip, so that the right buttock is working. And where we were working before, Again, that's the outer left hip, and that has to stabilize you. Yeah? That's still there. Now, and then stretch the arms forward and up to the ceiling. Extend out through the arms. Palms face each other. Don't do banana limb. Thighs back, thighs back. Yeah, try and remember that in every pose you do. Otherwise your lower back will hurt. As you exhale, take your arms down. Take your foot down, turn around to the second side. Feet together. And just feeling how the difference between the right and the left hip now, having them on side. There is a difference, yeah? You can really feel it. So you're creating sensitivity in the body. All right, then bend your left knee. Hold the ankle. Lift the knee high, let it go out to the side, but not the hip. The hips stay leveled. Pressing the heel against the opposite thigh and also the thigh against the heel. Yeah, so there is a two-way action. As you press the knee against the wall, see what happens. That kind of unzipping from the groin towards the inner knee. From the outer knee, it goes back into the hip. And your outer right hip has to squeeze it. Right? And then from there, stretch the arms forward when you're ready. And up to the ceiling. When you stretch the arms, the groins are lifting, not collapsing. The weight should be in the standing heel more than the toes. Yeah, so really feeling that action around your hip, both hips. And then as you exhale, you can release on that side. So now standing away from the wall, you're going to do one more. Without the wall this time. You can have it there just in case you need it. But so stand with the feet together, don't do it together. Just feeling how you are. So I'm trying to create more awareness around the hips, the outer hips, yeah? With what we do. Take your hands to your hips. Begin to lift your right foot up. Yeah, and the tip of toes, see how you then have to squeeze your outer left hip in so it doesn't stick out. That's the gluteus medius on your left side working. Lift the knee up high, hold the ankle, let the knee go out and press the foot high up against the opposite thigh. And then the thigh also against the foot. Look straight forward, find a point in front of your eyes for your gaze. Yeah. If the foot doesn't want to stay, press the heel more than the toes. And then, so if you have space, arms to the sides, palms up, inhale, stretch the arms up and reach up. Reach up high through the arms, all the way through the tips of the fingers. And so I'm really feeling that in the outer left hip. That's where I want you to feel it also. Yes, you're strengthening that outer left hip doing this. You will need it later. And as you exhale, then release on that side. Stand with the feet together, see how you are. And that's the area that I want you to feel tomorrow, yeah, because we are strengthening that muscle. And it's so important, and it's very neglected very often. And when it's weak, then it affects your knees and hips and everything. All right, take your hands to your hips, and then begin to lift your left foot off the floor. So as soon as you lift the heel, you're on the toe, see how the right hip wants to stick out. So you've got to activate that. Yeah, outer right hip squeezing in. Lift your left knee up high, hold the ankle, let the knee go out to the side, press the foot high up against the opposite thigh, and also the thigh against the foot. Okay. And then once you're ready, stretch the arms out, palms up, inhale, stretch the arms up to the ceiling and reach up through the arms. You don't have to take your hands together, but keep your arms straight. Keep reaching up through the arms. Don't change your gaze because then you lose balance. And be on the standing heel more than the toes. All right, and as you exhale, then you can release the arms, take your foot back down. Okay, good. Now we're going to have a break. Ready? For the right side. And we are going to go into Trikonasana. Just let me show you. Without any props, just a break. Stretching the arms out, extending, lengthening through your right arm. Trikonasana, you can use your break, your hand. From here, we come into Vrksasana, bend the front knee, taking the arm across the body. And then you can come back into Trikonasana, and then coming up. Yeah, so just this much. Take your legs wide. Turn your feet to your right, so left toes in, right toes out, and the heel in. So really well turning your front thigh. Stretch the arms out to the sides from the center of the chest. Take a breath in. So as you take your breath in, lengthen, reach to your right arm, reaching. And then take your hand down to your grip. Stretch up to your left arm, breathe. Soft, smooth breath, abdomen, chest turning up. And so again, so the bottom buttock, your right buttock is like the one of the bent leg in the tree pose. And the top hip, your left hip, is like the standing leg hip, the outer hip working, right? Still in the same way. Then from there, you're going to bend the front knee as you take your hand to your grip. Take your arm across the body, make a right angle in your left leg, and come into Vrksasana. Extend all the way through the tips of the fingers. Be on the back heel. Make your right angle. And feel the stretch from the back heel all the way through the tips of the fingers. Breathe in. So Stefania, go a bit lower in your hip. Yeah, don't be afraid. That's it. Extend, stretch through your top arm. And Sheila, keep your top arm straight as much as you can. All right, then from there, come back into Trikonasana. Trikonasana. Both legs are straight, stretch up through the top arm. Yeah, so feeling the difference in the hip in both of these poses, if you can. And then inhale, you can come back up. Turn your feet forward. And turn your feet to your left side. Make sure you've got enough space on the left for your arm to go over. And turn your feet to your left, so right toes in, left toes out, and the heel in. So be heavy on your left, on your right heel. And instead, it's the right outer hip again. That's your gluteus medius that has to kind of squeeze in still. And then rotating your left thigh from inside out. As you inhale, stretch the arms out to the sides. On your next breath in, reaching through your left arm. Reach. And as you exhale, take your hand down to the brick or to your left. Turning the abdomen, the chest up, top shoulder, back. Stretch up through the top arm. And really feeling how your left buttock is squeezing into the body. Few breaths with that. And then as you exhale, begin to bend the front knee while taking the top arm across the body. Vrksasana. Stretch all the way through the tips of the fingers. Keep the weight in the back heel, making a right angle in the front leg. Breathing. And then go back. So as you breathe out, go back into Trikonasana. So both legs are straight now. Stretch up all the way through the tips of the fingers. Breathe. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Turn your feet forward. Take your feet together. You can rest just for a moment. I'll show you the next part. So we're going to work on ardha and chandrasana. Right, so we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, so you're going to come into Vrksasana. You're going to come into Vrksasana. And then from here, you're going to take your top hand to your hip. You're going to hop the back foot forward, take your brick forward, and then finding balance, keeping the standing leg bent as you lift your left leg up straight. And then once you get balance, then you straighten the standing leg also, stretching out through the top arm. Yeah, the half moon pose, and then stepping back further than you think. Vrksasana, Vrksasana, and then, okay? All right, so get ready. Have your brick ready on the right side. Turn your feet to your right, so left toes in, right toes out, and the heel in. So really well rotating in your right thigh. Stretch the arms out to the sides from the center of the chest. As you inhale, lengthen, extend to your right arm. As you exhale, take your hand down to your left, to your brick. Stretch up through your top arm. Breathe, both legs are strong and firm and straight. Then as you exhale, bend in the front knee, take your hand to your brick. As you take your arm across the body into Vrksasana. And so the top side of the body should be perfectly straight and really extended. From there, take your top hand to your hip, and then you're going to hop the back foot forward. Take your brick forward with the hand above the foot, but keep it in line with your little toe. And then keeping the standing leg bent as you lift your right leg. Also your left leg up straight. Extend through the heel. And then begin to turn your left hip up. Turn the waist. Turn the chest. Once you are ready, you can straighten the standing leg also. And then if you can turn your head and try and do that. And again, it's the bottom buttock that has to squeeze into the body. Yeah. And then stretch up through the top arm once you're ready, if you can. Lift your foot up a little higher, Tori. Yeah, and try not to, that's for everybody, don't take your foot too far back. The lifted leg has a tendency to go back to compensate. Yeah. Well done. Then as you exhale, bend the standing leg and step back further than you think. Gracefully take your arm across the body again. Front leg bend in a right angle. Vrksasana. And then Vrksasana, straightening both legs. Stretch up through the top arm. And then inhaling, coming back up. Well done. Turn your feet forward, take your hands to your hips, and be ready for your left side. So make sure you've got enough space there. All right, so turn your feet to your left, so right toes in a little bit, left toes out, and heel in, turn the whole left leg in the hip socket. Stretch the arms out to the sides from the center of the chest. As you inhale, extend and lengthen through your left arm, lengthening. As you exhale, take your hand down to your brick or to your left. Stretch up through the top arm, navel, chest, turning, breathing. So the top hip moves into the body. Yeah, the bottom buttocks, so it kind of feels like the hips are squeezing in towards one another. Then from there, as you bend the front knee, taking the arm across the body into Vrksasana, making a right angle in the front leg. And it's like, so the right side of the body is straight from the heel, from the outer heel, all the way through the tips of the fingers, as if you were standing in Tadasana. From there, take your top hand to your hip and begin to hop the back foot forward. So make sure you've got enough space. I don't quite have enough space here, so I'm gonna have to step the foot back. Yeah. So the break is forward, about the foot, but in line with the little toe. Look at the floor first. And then begin to lift your right leg up straight as you keep your standing leg bent to start. And then turning your right hip up, the navel, the chest, top shoulder back, and then straightening the standing leg once you are ready, when you get your balance. Breathing. Well done. Yeah, good. And then as you exhale, bend the standing leg, stepping back further than you think into Vrksasana, taking the top arm across the body and overhead one more time. Front leg is making a right angle, lean. Front leg, right angle, yeah. Go deep in the hip. Stretch the arm up a little more, Sheila. Don't go so far. Yeah, so you want to feel as if you are in a straight line. Your top side of the body is making a straight line, or it should. And then from there, Vrksasana, straighten the standing leg. Stretch up through the top arm. Well done. And then as you inhale, come back to center. Turn your feet forward, walk or jump the feet back together. And now, so you're gonna have your two bricks. We're going to prepare for Vrksasana 3. But we do it with the wall first. So, do you know what actually, let's do this first. No wall. It's for a bit of fun. Feet together, hips. So there's awareness in the outer hips. You're gonna keep the arms at the sides of the body. And then you're going to start to take your right foot back. Yeah. So as I go forward, I keep my arms at the sides and try not to fall like that. I'm talking, focusing. Yeah. There, and then coming up. So the hips stay in line, and then we do the other side. So just try that first. So make sure you've got enough space behind you for your leg. Keep your arms. So first stand in Glut first. Yeah. Yeah. Be upright. Roll the shoulders back. Lifting the chest up. Thighs back. Grip the hips towards each other. So again, it's in the outer hips. That's where you need to have the stability, squeezing in. And then from there, as you slowly begin to take your right leg back, keep your arms, so keep your right arm in line with your leg as you start to lift the leg up more and upper body forward. Keep your arms going with your leg. Yeah. Good. Extend through the heel, the toes are pointing into the floor. Don't take your foot too high, but lift the thigh more than the foot. Yeah, roll the shoulders as you stretch through the tips of the fingers, open the chest. And then inhaling, coming back up, take your leg back down, and come down the same way as you went up. Yeah? And just see how you feel. And then the other side. So first straighten, roll the shoulders back, lift from the groin area, with the groin, the navel, the chest. And then as you exhale, as you begin to take your left foot back, then keep your arms at the side of the body as you go. Yeah, so it's like a perfect seesaw you're making. Yeah, extend through the heel. The toes, though, are pointing down, and see how far you can go. Stretch through the tips of the fingers to roll the shoulders back, to lift the chest. Extend through the heel, breathe. And grip in the hips is where the stability comes. So a little bit deeper there, Marianne. If you can, upper body a bit lower, leg a little higher. Well done. And then inhaling, coming back up. It's a bit wobbly, that, isn't it? Okay. Now, what I would like you to do, we'll take it to the wall. There is that action. I will keep it at the wall because this is quite tricky without the wall, right? So you're going to take the right leg up, so it's back to Vrksasana 3. And then from here, ardha chandrasana. So, and this few times. So hips leveled, Vrksasana 3, the warrior number 3. And then turning the toes halfway up and lifting the arm. Yeah, so you are pivoting around the bottom hip. And this is very, very good for the hips. Okay? So let's try that. Measure your distance from the wall. So the standing leg should not be slanting back at all, because then it's hard to do the pose. All right, so once you have the distance, the hands should be under your shoulders, on your bricks, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up, and then begin to take your right foot back and take it straight up. So keeping the hips leveled and toes are pointing to the floor, and just press the right heel against the wall. Don't take it too high, only so that your leg is parallel to the floor. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up. Grip the hips towards each other, gripping the hips in towards one another. See how that feels. And then from there, you're going to turn your right leg halfway up, turn the hip up. So for ardha chandrasana, and then once you're ready, stretch the arm up. Yeah, push the heel against the wall, see what happens in the hip. So see, I want you to feel how you're moving around the bottom hip. Then come back into Vrksasana 3. Come back hips leveled, toes pointing down. We try again. Not done yet. Turn your toes halfway up. Go on. So yeah, so notice, I want you to really feel the strength in the buttock. Yeah. So in this case, it's your bottom, your left buttock. All right. Hips over each other, stretch the arm up. Go on. Grip the bottom buttock into the body. Really do that, really strongly. Yeah. Push the heel against the wall. And then again, take your top hand down on your brick, take your hips leveled, not done yet, Tori. Keep your foot there, toes pointing down, hips leveled, grip the hips towards each other. I can see you dying. Okay, so come down now. All right, feet together, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, we'll prepare for the other side. Yeah. All right, so tracing a straight line to your left big toe as you take your leg back to the wall. Yeah, toes are pointing to the floor. Press the heel against the wall, the thighs lifting. Grip the hips towards one another. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up. And then, yeah, so Vrksasana 3. Then you're going to turn the toes halfway up. And so pivoting around your right buttock this time as you lift your left hip up or the right. Open the chest, take your top shoulder back, and then stretch your top arm up. Ardha chandrasana. So really feel that stability in the bottom buttock. It's the bottom buttock that really, I can't drum it home hard enough, how important that is, that it's working. Yeah? Otherwise, lots of problems come in. If your gluteals are weak, if those deep muscles there are weak, then lots of problems come from that. All right, exhale, take yourself back into Vrksasana 3. Toes pointing down, take your hand down to your bricks. Grip the hips towards each other. Stay, don't take your foot down. Right, stabilize the hips again, grip the hips in. And one more time, turn your toes halfway up. Turn your left hip up over the right. Grip the right hip in as you stretch the arm up. Yeah, so I really want you to feel that there. Feel the buttocks tomorrow. Stretch up through the top arm. Because then you will know that you've strengthened something. You got something from this. And then again, take your foot to point to the floor, but don't go down yet. Not yet. Back into Vrksasana. So go on, Turk. Hips leveled, hands down to the bricks. Grip the hips in, shoulders back, lift the chest. All right, and then go down then. Oh dear, I'm torturing you today. There is a pose that I may leave for next time. I want to do, but when I will do though. So you're going to go into Ardha Mukha Svanasana again. And then we're going to turn on the side, so left toes in, right toes on top. And this is called Vrksasana. And again, it's the bottom hip, outer hip that has to stabilize you. Okay? Then we come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Then we do the other side, which I'm not going to do now because I'll turn away from you. Then the second time, well, I think you're going to rest after this, but the second time, you come here, and then you're going to take the top leg into tree pose, stretching the arm. Yeah, so the heel pushes against the thigh, but the thigh has to push back, otherwise you would collapse down. Yeah, and then back into dog pose. Okay, that should finish you off. This is my third class today. I'm laughing. I'm just at the end of my tether. You know, I mean well, always. All right, press the heels against the wall. Do it good, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, because that's half the battle. If you can activate the legs there, then you're kind of halfway there already. Grip the hips towards each other, lift the buttocks, pull up the knees, push the thighs back. All right, and then take your left foot on its outer edge, right foot on top. And go on the side, and you want to feel as if you're in Tadasana, as if you're standing. Yeah, so you want to be in a perfect straight line. So don't collapse too far down, and don't be too lifted either. Stephanie, are you okay? Stretch through the top arm. And feel the bottom outer hip really working strongly. Bottom shoulder back and down, of course. Yeah. Turn the chest up. All right, then come back into the. That's a lovely cut. So stretch up through the, buttocks lifting, strong legs. Turn your right foot on its outer edge, with the left foot on top. And be in find your straight line. The bottom buttock has to work again. The outer bottom hip has to work strongly. And then once you're ready, stretch the palm up. Yeah, good, Marianne. Looks good. Looks straight. Good. And then as you exhale, go back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. All right, from there you can go down, rest, bend your knees, come into Ardha Mukha Vrksasana. Take your buttocks back to your heels, stretch the arms forward, and just rest there for a moment before we do the next part, which is a bit more challenging. All right, so from there, get ready. Come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So again, with the heels against the wall, strong legs, pull up the knees, buttocks up high. Get ready. Turn your left foot on its outer edge with the right foot on top. And first get your straight line. Yeah. So first Vrksasana 1. And then from there, once you're stable, if you can, begin to bend the top knee. Your right knee. Catch hold of the ankle. And it's like doing a tree pose, but you're lopsided. Yeah? Push the heel against the foot, against the thigh, and so the thigh against the foot. Yeah, very good. And so the bottom out hip really has to work now. Yeah, that's where the stability comes from. And stretch the top arm up. Yeah, the wrist. If the wrist is hurting, try to press the ball mounts of the fingers down more. Yeah, it has to strengthen. It will strengthen, but it shouldn't be hurting too much. So press the mounts of the index fingers down, especially. I'm losing you. All right, and then come back into the Ardha Mukha Svanasana. You only have one more to do your best now. Turn your right foot on its outer edge. Take your left foot on top of the right foot. Turn your hips left over the right. Yeah, go sideways first, be straight. Then slowly, once you get your balance, begin to bend your left knee. The top knee, whichever, hopefully it's your left one, isn't it? Yeah, like a tree pose, so pressing the heel against the thigh, but thigh has to press up against the heel. Oh dear, oh dear. And then can we manage that? If you can, how could we make this easier? Taking the foot in front before you're ready. Taking the top arm up. All right, and then you can release. Come back down. Come back into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And then step your foot forward, whichever, coming into Vrksasana Padottanasana, and your two breaks for your hands if you need to. So feet are wide apart. Yeah, having your two breaks ready. Hands down, or shoulders back, looking up in the chest. In your own time, coming down lower. So this is your resting pose. So hands to the floor if you can. Hands in line with your feet if you can. And then head down on some support, whatever you need. So it becomes more restful with the head supported. Vrksasana Padottanasana. Deep breath, resting. All right, and then bring your hands forward again. Look up with the chest, take your hands to your hips and come up to standing. Bending your knees, take your feet together. And we are going to wind down with supported bridge and Viparita Karani. So having your 4 blocks beside you. If you don't have 4 blocks, you have the brick standing up. Yeah, so either 4 blocks or the brick this way. For women it's this way, for men it's that way. Just different shapes of the pelvis. And so just let me remind you quickly. So it's ready, weight base, and you lift the buttocks, you slide the blocks underneath the buttocks. And first pulling, tuck your shoulders under so that you're lifting the back arm bit up that way, and the shoulders go down. Yeah, we'll stay here for a bit. And then we try to walk the feet away, extending, so, and that might be too much for the lower back. If it is, just bend your knees. Then we're going to bend the knees, and then lifting one leg up, followed by the other. But you want to have the sacrum flat on your blocks, or on the break as you lift both legs up into Viparita Karani. You want the legs to be straight up, so not this, not that. But straight up so that the diaphragm, your abdomen is soft and relaxed. Yeah, so this should be a relaxing pose. This is a bit of upside down for you to finish it. Okay? To come down, you take your feet down, taking the blocks away, come down slowly, and then it's Shavasana. Okay? All right, so lie down, lift the buttocks, slide the blocks underneath. Try to get 4 in. They have to be widthways, Stefania. Widthways. Yeah, that's it. Good. And then they should be well under your buttocks. Yeah, so the buttocks are sitting on it like on a shelf, kind of. Tucking the shoulders. So first pulling at the sides of the blocks. So here you are practicing also. So it's kind of like a bit of action of a shoulder stand without actually doing a shoulder stand. Yes, as you pull at the blocks, you can also pull at the mat if that's easier to tuck the shoulders under. So you feel as if the back armpit is lifting up while the top of the shoulders are moving down. So there's a kind of this circular movement around the armpits, chest. And just stay there for a bit, breathe, feel. All right, and from there you can slowly begin to walk the feet away from you. Yeah. And just see how far you can go to straighten the legs without any discomfort in your low back. If there is discomfort in your low back, then just slightly bend your knees. It's okay, it will improve with practice. It's quite normal to start that there could be some discomfort in your lower back. So don't worry about it, but don't stay with it. It's not nice. Marian can't see that well, but it looks to me like the blocks need to be underneath you a little bit more. I need to put my glasses on. Yeah, so it's more kind of even more, it's under your sacrum. Yeah, more. Okay. So feel there is a nice openness around the abdominal area. It's good for your abdominal organs to get that space. The groins to get the space. Keep breathing, feeling, just stay for a few more breaths. Then you can bend your knees once more. Keep your feet on the floor. Also, Sheila, you need the blocks a bit underneath you a little more. If you can lift yourself, yeah, move them under so that you want to sit on it like on a shelf. The buttocks are kind of like flat on the blocks. And then from there, lifting your one knee up, followed by the other. So you just to protect the lower back. Be flat on the blocks with the sacrum. And then from there, as you breathe out, straighten both legs up towards the ceiling into Viparita Karani, both legs up, extending through the heels, the inner feet, ball mounts in the big toes. And when you find the legs where they are perfectly perpendicular to the floor, there should be a sense of broadness, softness in the abdominal area. Stay there breathing. So this is your upside down pose for the day. Feet are together in this. Straight legs, sleep. Few more breaths. All right, and then you can bend your knees And then you're going to take your feet down one at a time, one followed by the other. Once they are down, then you can lift the buttocks up, take your blocks away, but lower yourself down slowly. So you're allowing the pelvis to get back to normal, slowly, bit by bit, as you go to the floor. And you'll be glad to hear that it's relaxation time, Shavasana. That was hard work today, wasn't it? Good work though. Okay, so make sure you're warm, that you're in a straight line, get what you need. Have some bolster handy to put it on the tops of the thighs, on the groin area for extra weight. It will help you relax a little deeper after what we've done. We've done a lot of contracting there, lots of activity around the groin, so now just let it all soften. So just check that you're on the very center of the back of the head. Chin is down lower than the forehead. Tucking the shoulders under. Well, make sure your chin is down lower than the forehead, so using blanket if you need to. Relax the face, all the facial muscles. Widening the space between the eyebrows. Softening the eyelids, let the eyes drop down away from the eyelids as if you had. Imagine as if you have eyes at the back of the head, looking out through the darkness of the skull. Relax the jaws, the tongue, the throat. Feel the contact you have between the back body and the floor. From head to feet and feet to head. Feeling all the touch points between the back body and the floor. The whole plane of the body on the floor all at once. As you breathe out, softening the abdomen, let it fall down towards the back. As you breathe out, soften around the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, the hands, and all the fingers. As you exhale, soften the groins, the hips, the thighs, the kneecaps, the shins, the ankles, the fronts of the feet and the soles of the feet and all the toes. Just allow the body to be heavier and softer with each next breath out, letting go completely. I'm finishing with a little poem by Paulo Coelho. Maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that really isn't you. So you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. Maybe the journey isn't so much about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that really isn't you, so that you can be who you were meant to be in the first place. with this, I wish you good night's sleep, great week. Keep practicing at least a little bit, and see you all next week. Night night.